Here we go. On the show today, the Sixers blow a giant lead against the Bulls on Tyrese Maxey's birthday. We are back. Jared McCain's first game back. Meow Mix also tries to come back, but the Carolina Panthers players don't want it. Is Quentin Grimes out playing his contract? And normally I wouldn't throw relationship advice in here, but the email sounded very, very, very what's the word I'm looking for? Just seemed important that we get to it. Was asking an important question. The Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS. Brought to you by Anthony Degli Obizzi, the official financial planner of the Ricky. Text the word Ricky to 484-471-4873. BodyBio, get 20% off any BodyBio product at bodybio.com with promo code August. And Briggs Auction, the official auction of the Ricky at briggsauction.com, as well as Surfside iced tea and vodka, the official canned cocktail of the Ricky. Fly the Process New Orleans. Sign up. It's in February. Go to rightsrickysanchez.com/fly. If you need a alcoholic beverage after your favorite team blows a 20-point game against the Bulls, well, Surfside iced tea and vodka, that'll fit the bill because you're not down in too much sugar. It's only 2 grams of sugar. It's only 100 calories. Come on. Lots of different varieties. Man, when it came out a few years ago, it was just the iced tea and vodka. I think the iced tea, lemonade, and vodka, but now there's so many. There's green tea, there's raspberry tea, there's peach tea, there's straight up lemonade, there's strawberry lemonade. You can get it wherever you get your canned cocktails, or you could go to drinksurfside.com. You got to be 21. Please enjoy it responsibly. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Welcome to the Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm spycasting with a guy who had to know that there was a chance they were going to lose that game even when they were up by 20. That is one Mike Levin.
No, I have a closet full of fell forward again awards, and I use them well. I use them well every day. No, I mean, frustrating way to lose. The shooting variance came all at once, but I do think that it was kind of more than that. There were a lot of really bad shots taken there. They kind of abandoned team ball. Like totally. They weren't sharing the ball anymore. They went to Embiid ISO and standstill,
just
Maxey
way too
Embiid
much.
2-man game, and just some reckless shot selection, completely not getting Edgecombe involved whatsoever. I mean, they didn't score in the last 4 minutes, I think, and they didn't have a basket in the last 6.5. They were 4 for 22, I think, from the field in the fourth. Yeah, I mean, Embiid comes back in with 5 minutes left, immediately gets 2 touches in the post on Vucevic, who he normally owns. And it felt like, okay, we're doing Embiid ball. Everybody stand still while Joel does his thing. And Vuce was handsy, and they didn't call anything and just, made stuff hard for Embiid. A late clock, one-legged step back 2. I mean, Joel came up empty. I counted 5 times in his last 5-minute stretch. It wasn't good. I do think he looked good before that stretch.
Yeah, I thought the first half was the best he's looked all season.
I agree.
Actually, yeah,
I agree, and I do think as a whole, defensively, this easily was the best he looked all season by a lot. A ton of blocks. I don't know how many he had, but blocks, getting his hands in there, making it hard on guys. A couple steals late. I thought it was a real win for him and the organization and the medical staff and Joel being willing to do this kind of thing. I thought that's a really encouraging thing. This game is annoying to have lost it because they shouldn't have. But there's a lot more positive than negative, even though it's annoying in this moment, a minute and a half after they lost the game.
Yeah. Can I if you're watching this live on YouTube, by the way, subscribe. And if you're listening to the pod, just like relax a little bit. It was an annoying loss. I promise I'm not, if they continue to win games throughout, the rest of the season, I promise I'm not going to do the, what'd you expect of this season thing over and over again. They're 5-2. They played pretty well. They ran out of gas in a lot of ways. They went back to old habits, which are the hardest thing to break. One of the hardest things to break if we have this new era of Sixers basketball with Embiid there is the habit of, well, he's there and he'll do it, and we'll just see if that works. And he
wants to do it. And
he wants to do it. Yeah, of course. Of course.
Give me the ball. Let me end this game. And he just missed a lot of shots towards the end. I thought he looked pretty.
He hit back rim on a bunch of those jumpers, which I thought were Joel jumpers, by the way. I thought the thing that you mentioned at the top is they just stopped moving. And I agree with you. He wants to do those things, but he's also been willing to do the other things as well. We said it a bunch of times, sets a bunch of screens, gets rid of the ball, but they stopped doing those things. And I don't know if it's because Maxey was out of gas and they all just sort of follow him, but they were all just standing around watching, and he was happy to do it. And he didn't have it. He didn't hit the shots.
Yeah, I mean, they scored 70. They scored 75 points in the first half, and they scored 36 in the second.
Yeah,
that's weird. That's weird stuff. Yeah, I think they started looking bad in the third. It seemed like they do the thing that, I guess I was going to say every basketball team kind of does this when you're kind of up by too much and you're a little bit like having a little bit of a silly time now. Like, it's kind of fun. Joel had an over the head pass to Jabari that got picked off.
Yeah.
And then has him underneath again and picks up a charge on it. They seemed to being a little bit goofy, and it seemed like they had just too many good players, which is weird to say. Like, they had too many guys on the court that could do something. So everyone was kind of being too unselfish, and it just sort of made the intensity falter, and that coincided with the Bulls hitting shots. And then it's like, okay, we're not doing what we normally do. Let's get it to Joel. Like, I think that was the emergency button that they pressed of just like regular Joel stuff, and it really, really didn't work. But aside from that annoying stretch in the fourth, I did think it was a really good and full Embiid game across the board.
Yeah, it was. I almost wonder because I think if his minutes hover around 25 to 30, one of the biggest differences is going to be how they figure out how to do the minutes. And I think one thing that might have happened is that he played the beginning of the third, and then after that, they knew he only had 5 minutes left, like to get to that 25-minute, which is clearly where his limit is. And they held him until the end of the fourth. And I wonder, on some level, he's just not used to sitting that long. He's never sat that long in his career within a game. I wonder too if he gets cold. The other thing, they're going to have to figure out, maybe, I know it sounds crazy, but maybe it's one of those things where maybe he doesn't even start the third quarter, maybe he plays the end of the third quarter at the end of the fourth quarter if they want him to close games. If he's only going to play 25 minutes a game, that's only 6 minutes a quarter, right? So, and if he's not going to want to, if sitting from the 6 minute mark of the third until the 5 or 6 minute mark of the fourth is going to be too long for him, it might be something they have to try to figure out too.
Yeah. Tricky stuff. Tricky stuff. I would prefer to have him not in late game situations right now.
Oh, I don't agree. Really?
I think that the speed of the game and refs kind of being more prone to swallow their whistles there aren't conducive to the way he plays right now. His energy level and his willingness to go full out to, okay, there's a switch here and now you're all of a sudden on a guard on the perimeter. It's just not something I do think he did pretty well tonight, but it's just, there's too many, and he's also just slow in getting off his shots these days. So I said it last pod, I think, but I'd rather him be in from the 8 minute to 2 minute stretch and then bring in guys that are more switchable, that are more pass and cut stuff. I don't think that's like a feasible long-term strategy, but while you're still ramping his minutes up, I wonder if you can get away with something like that. And honestly, like if he had come in earlier, it wasn't I don't think Bona did like bad stuff, but it wasn't like a great Bona game.
No.
As far as him doing stuff and impacting the game. If you had brought him in earlier, maybe you don't need, maybe those last 2 minutes aren't as close. Maybe he doesn't feel as much like, oh, I have to, here it goes, like it's my turn. We're Batman coming in to save the day bullshit. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's tricky either way, but the last 5 minute stretch for him and for the whole team was like jarringly bad after like a really like beautiful first quarter, great half of basketball. I also don't even think like that last play, I don't think the defense was bad. I thought that they slid their feet with Giddey well. They
Vucevic.
They blocked off some passing lanes. He makes the pass that like all good lead guards can do in this league, which is the wraparound pass to the corner three. Grimes was pinching in, and then he got there fast. Could he have closed out maybe a little bit harder and made him put the ball on the deck? Maybe, but then you risk drawing a foul in that situation.
And he's pretty comfortable. Vucevic is pretty comfortable in that situation too. It's not like he's going to panic there.
Well, sure. It's just like the clock running down. Like if you had made him put the ball on the deck, then it's like what kind of shot are you getting with like the clock ticking down 3 seconds, whatever. That was a heavily contested corner three. He had to adjust his arc on that shot. If you watch it, like Vucevic's threes are not that high arcing. And it went in, and it's sort of just like, no, that fucking sucks. But I'm not like long-term concerned about this. It's a bummer that they have Cleveland tomorrow and they kind of went out for this game. Tough loss. Good loss to take on the chin, everything's a learning experience here. And we're all growing and we're getting better.
Yeah, the 25-26 Sixers, we're just learning and growing and getting better.
You just can't be that upset in November. You just can't. When they're after last year and they're 5-2. Frustrating, but they should have won the game. Like I'm annoyed, but 100%. I'm holding myself back from being more annoyed because that's a decent Bulls team. I think that the Bulls are a little bit fraudulent.
So are we.
Which is fair. Two fraudulent people. Like that first half, I was like, the Sixers are the better team, and even into the third quarter, I was like, the Sixers are so much the better team. And then just like everything stopped going, and even you should talk about Maxey. Like Maxey played I thought pretty great those first 3 quarters on his 25th birthday, and even when the ball gets in his hands, as like, okay, thank you, give it to an adult, Maxey, take over, do your thing, get a good look. It just nothing was falling, and he started getting a little bit panicky there. Also, I think he probably got pretty tired out, and another 39-minute outing for the minutes leader in the NBA is it adds up. Yeah,
the only thing I wonder, just to go back to your point about Embiid not closing, is their half court offense just tends to, like when Embiid's not in there, they can do the running thing, and they're pretty impressive when they're doing that. And it's you have like this wave sometimes where the other team just can't seem to catch their breath. In the last 2-3 minutes a game, I just, their half court offense has been pretty iffy to my eye without Embiid on the floor, in that I don't know that they have when I say center, I don't mean like center of the position, like a center of what they run, like that they're super comfortable with. So that's the only thought I have about him not closing games as often. Now, obviously, it didn't look great today, with him in there, but without him, I don't know what they look like.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, realistically, you risk losing everything with Joel. Like, he is always on the brink of not buying in, you know, and he feels like he's ready, and he did play. I think his defense was like wildly improved. I'm looking at it now. He had 3 steals and 4 blocks. I thought it was pretty excellent on that end, as close to his old self as we've seen in almost 2 years.
Yeah, he was jumping for block, like he was moving. He was like attempting to block shots. He was closing out on stuff.
All of it. So, it's just a matter of like, in those late game situations, is he, with the minutes restriction, with the like less burst, and then guys laying on him and stuff. I might have rather seen Trendon Watford to get a better look for somebody there. whether it was Watford himself in the lane or kicking it out. Watford played great. Obviously, it's Brooklyn. He played great against Brooklyn, and that to me was like, yes, this is the kind of thing that you needed.
Yeah.
He did a great job running the break. That's like the free points that the Sixers haven't gotten since Ben Simmons was playable. He ended up finishing 69-7 against Brooklyn. Not as good tonight. But those kinds of that I would have. I don't think that you can take Joel out, and I don't think that they will. But like, if it was a video game, and they didn't have feelings, then I probably would have taken him out for Watford.
Yeah. I have a Watford thing after the Rice Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by Anthony Degli Obizzi, the official financial planner of the Rickies. Sometimes when I know everybody's mad, I feel bad for the Ricky sponsors that are in that pod. I know people are listening. I feel a little bad. I like putting you in the middle of a win, guys. Sometimes you got to be in the middle of a loss. At least it's not last season. Anthony Degli Obizzi is actually my personal financial planner. He works at Monastra Financial Group in Delco. What does a financial planner do? What does he do for me? Well, he I got to my mid to late 30s or whatever, and I had not thought about retirement. I had not even thought about, hey, what happens if I don't have a job for 6 months, which actually ended up happening at one point in my life. And what Anthony does is he can plan all of those things for you, every sort of financial thing you need, even like life insurance, all that kind of stuff. But planning for your near future, like what are you going to do next year? Planning for your little bit longer than that future. What do the next 5 or 10 years look like? And then, hey, when do you want to retire? And how much do you want to retire with? And all those sorts of things. And Anthony can help you meet those goals in all sorts of different ways. If you want to be really aggressive, there's some people that want to retire at 50. There's some people that want to work for the rest of their lives, whatever. Anthony can help you meet those goals. If you want to learn more about where your money's going and those sorts of investments, he'll talk to you every day if you want to. He could have, my cadence with him is like once a quarter. And this is the thing I'm going to stress to you is if you don't have a person like this, you don't need like a bunch of money to do this. You don't need to be making tons more than you spend. All you need sometimes is if you're not putting away $50 a month or $100 a month that you could be, I think you're making a mistake. And if you don't have a plan, I think you're making a mistake. I waited way too long in life. I wish I had started when I was in my early 20s. In that case, I'd just be sitting on a beach somewhere. So if you don't have somebody looking after your money and helping you do it, Anthony is the guy, Anthony Degli Obizzi. Here's what I want you to do. Text the word Ricky to 484-471-4873. That is Ricky to 484-471-4873. Set up a consultation. He's been a Ricky guy for a very long time. Easygoing, young, normal guy. That's on his fucking billboards. Anthony Degli Obizzi, the official financial planner of the Ricky. I thought, I've liked Watford the last couple of games. Thought maybe he was a little too confident this game here and there. There were a couple of post-ups that it felt like he was cooking a little bit. I was also wondering aloud as I was getting frustrated. I was like, are you being like this because Max is your friend and you think you can do this? Like, I like his skill set. I think him as a connector and a guy who can bring the ball up and a guy who can hit guys on passes, a little creation, all that sort of stuff. When they were going to him sometimes, it felt like that thing that I wonder about the last couple of minutes of a game, half-court offense. It just felt like, well, he'll do it. I could give it to him in the post. That feels normal. It almost seems like they don't, if they're not running and there's not an Embiid in there, they're just waiting for somebody to like do offense. And Watford was the one doing that a couple of times. I like him. He seemed a little too aggressive in this game for me.
Yeah, there was a moment when he gets sort of stoned and blocked by Kevin Herter, and then Herter kind of stared him down. Watford wanted a foul call. I think he hooked the arm. I think they probably should have called it before the block. But that seemed to frustrate him. Then he got called for some moving screens. Like it ended up not being great. But prior to that and in the Brooklyn game, I thought he was great. I love the connectivity with him and Maxey. There was a little DHO at the top of the key from Tyrese to Trendon. And he's just a load going downhill, man. He can spin and finish and one. He does that all the time. Really
nice
a couple
play. Of those tonight.
Really nice
little
play. Yeah.
ones. Yep.
He likes that. And everybody talks about he's not athletic, and he's definitely not in the sense that he's like fast or sudden in that way, but he can elevate for a defensive rebound, and he has, and that's helpful and will be helpful as he continues to work himself into like really knowing what his role is on this team and everything. Maxey was incredible until the fourth quarter.
Until he wasn't. Yep.
He's unbelievable.
He looked like he just ran out of gas, which
he did. He totally did.
Yeah.
He totally did. He passes Robert Covington tonight for second all time in threes.
Wow.
In Sixers history, second all time. Only Iverson is ahead, and I think Maxey might pass him by the end of the season, which is wild. He's just so good at squaring up so quickly. And he's great at transferring the ball from his dribble into his shot so quickly. Step back over Vooch from the corner, pull-ups off the dribble, hits the brakes, rises up for 3, 4-point play, pull up in transition after a monster screen from Joel and Okoro, and a ton of catch and shoot stuff when he's just like way too good to be that wide open. And then his mid-range stuff was incredible. He had a floater on the move, mid-range spin and rise up from the nail, crossover step back into like an 18-footer, lefty floater past the defense to end the third. That was nice. A tricky floater with Jalen Smith behind him, fouling from behind. There's just like nothing he can't do as a scorer. It's really unbelievable how good he's become. And I think this will happen more when McCain is like ready. But like he got a nice cut off movement. It might be the last time that they scored, actually, now that I think about it. It was a beautiful cutoff to the ball and then to the rim off an offensive rebound that Watford hit him with in stride for a lefty layup. And man, the 2 huge blocks for Maxey in this game.
Unreal. Yeah.
One that should have like won us the game and like should have saved the game. A game-saving block on Matas Buzelis, who's got like 8 inches on Maxey.
Is that the one where he came in and he missed the layup right afterwards? He took the ball all the way down the floor and missed the layup. Was that the one?
Yeah. Tough layup to take. I do wish on some of those when he's like out of juice, I wish it was like I'm going to use my speed and attention as a diversion and stuff. But that block was incredible. And then a huge block on Trey Jones from behind. Ridiculous amount of burst to pin it on the backboard. That's unbelievable. He's good, dude. He had 3 blocks and a steal tonight. He's awesome. Happy 25th birthday, Tyrese Maxey. I love the guy. 39-5-5. I love him. I mean, he's taken another leap. Like the fact that he made himself into like a plausible shooter at all was not a foregone conclusion when they drafted him. It was just, here's this fast guy that seems to have fun playing with each other, playing with everybody, and maybe he could be like Patty Mills. And it's just like
he's gotten better every year in a way that, like, I would say the last 3 years he's gotten to a point where each year he's better than I thought he was going to be, and he got better again. And he's remarkable. Every year, last 3 years.
He's remarkable. And you got to just treat the regular season because the regular season is long and there's so many chapters to it. You just got to, for him, treat this as like, okay, how do I take care of myself where that fourth quarter doesn't happen? Like, these are lessons you got to learn. Now we're in a team. Last year he was like the number 1 guy and everything died and failed and he was struggling. Now it's like, okay, they're playing well, and everybody looks to you to go be the guy, and they're a good team, and there's still hopes for a nice playoff run this year. So how can you, on a good team, conserve energy in certain ways and play in certain ways so that you don't this doesn't happen? And I think he's capable of that growth, and you just really have to treat it like a lesson in the regular season in a November when the season's been good so far.
So he didn't do much, but I think we should talk about the return of Jared McCain. It was, first of all, yesterday, I found out that he was playing with your text message. We were talking about which game to do the podcast after, and you was like, well, McCain's probable for tomorrow. I got so excited. There was like palpable excitement to see him again. And the fact that he is back before Paul George, who's been a full participant in practice for a month now.
Very funny.
I
will say the Paul George thing is like, obviously he's older, and it's a knee injury. Whereas McCain's thing was a thumb.
He got a scope in July, Mike. It's November.
I'm just saying. I guess I don't know what I'm saying, but
I don't care.
I'm happy for them to be more cautious about Paul George at his age with a more temperamental place than a thumb situation, I guess.
Do you know what's funny about the Paul George thing? every time I decide that I'm going to make an issue out of the fact that, like, where the fuck is Paul George? The reaction is always, nah, tell him not to come back. Tell him not to come back. So then I realized nobody is like chomping at the bit for Paul George to come back. Jared McCain looked like he hadn't played an NBA game in a year.
100%.
He looked out of sorts. He looked slow. He had one nice little drop off pass to Embiid.
Very nice.
It was nice to see him in there, but like, you know, he hasn't played a game in a year. So I'm happy that he was in there. I'm happy that he's back. I think he's going to make a real difference. If you're somebody, and I know there's a lot of people listening to the pod now that didn't really watch the games last year. If you're somebody who did not see the Jared McCain thing last year and you watch tonight and you're like, what the fuck? You were telling me just relax. It'll be okay. It was nice to see him out there, but he just looked, he was tired. He couldn't keep up. It was just, you know, it was his first game back in a year. So wouldn't worry about it.
I am not, I'm also not worried whatsoever. Would have been cool for him to hit a shot, and the bench seemed really pumped for him and all that stuff, and just like wanted it so bad for him. Didn't happen. I like that he was like playing within himself and getting a feel for it. Quickness wasn't there. The movement was. He was still moving without the ball, which I like to see. I think the thing to note is that Nurse was playing him with Maxey.
Yep.
And then not only was he playing with Maxey, he was playing with him one of VJ and Grimes, and then not only all those, at one point, all four of them were on the court together.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, with Bona, I think towards the end of the third. And that is, you know, I think that was Nick being like, let's see it. We're up a bunch. And then the game fell out from under him. I doubt that they go to it very often. I probably wouldn't right now with, you know, at least in McCain's first game. I think it was an audacious thing to look at just to see.
And you've given him credit for trying things all year.
Absolutely.
You know, he's got to do that. He does know a lot about all these players and how they play together, you know, given the newness of some of them, the fact that, you know, like McCain only played 20 games last year, didn't really play with Embiid at all, like all that stuff. There's
you got to try all that stuff. Maybe would have had another bigger guy out there with McCain like so clearly like a step slow for how.
Did Drummond not play tonight?
He didn't play. No.
Weird, right?
Not really. I mean,
Chicago's a pretty big team. You know, I don't
know. Yeah, I mean, they ended up with 12 offensive rebounds. I think not a. It didn't feel like they were getting pummeled on the boards.
Yeah.
And with like Vooch as a stretch five, Jalen Smith as a stretch five, I'd rather have Bona out there contesting than Drummond. I think if Bona was bad, he was fine. I don't think he was great, but if he was like noticeably bad, then I do think Drummond would have came in. But yeah, I wasn't. I think it's a who's hot hand type thing. We're going to give Bona a shot, and then we'll see what happens from there. Kelly Oubre is great.
Oh, just the greatest. The start off the steal and dunk to start the game. That dunk in the fourth. Was that the strong dunk in the fourth?
Yes.
Where on the fast break, when you're like, the whole time I'm like, pass it, and then we've wanted a guy to dunk like that for the whole process.
Yeah. Now we got too many.
Yeah.
He threw another lob to Bona. That was very nice. That he put down. Couple really nice, tough, physical, decisive drives with soft touch yet again. I mean, it's 7 of 11 for 18 points, and 2 of 4 from 3. Just another good shooting night for the guy with the best fucking thumb in the league. A perfect thumb that's healed wonderfully. It was all the thumb last year and this whole career. I didn't like the one
on the fast break. You have to be to bring the ball up in the fast break and shoot the three. You have to be. I know his thumb's fine this year, but you have to be a Maxey type 3-point shooter, not an Oubre type 3-point shooter.
He's just been. But that's why he's Kelly. You know that Kelly thinks he is. And I don't disagree that if I was again controlling them like a video game, I wouldn't have taken that shot for Kelly in that moment there.
No.
But Kelly's brain space operates at a different plane. And he has to believe, and this had a beautiful season so far, believe that this is 100% going in, and he would be a fool to not take the shot when he's as open as he is. And he had a big block on Matas Puzel's corner 3. Yeah, I mean, I thought he was great. He's awesome. And I wish that there was, honestly, like in that fourth quarter, Kelly should have gotten more touches. Like Kelly should have gotten more touches, like going to the rim. See if we can get him like catching in like a DHO at the nail or something where he can like take some momentum on a little screen and get to the rim and see if he can at least get fouled. That's the kind of physicality. The Sixers were kind of on their back foot the whole fourth quarter, and I think VJ and Kelly not getting touches in the fourth quarter is part of why they lost.
Kelly, it sort of felt like the Bulls figured him out a little bit about halfway through the game. Those drives, he got stuffed a couple of times on them. I wonder if they were playing him a certain way. But yeah, this is probably the biggest Kelly Oubre fan podcast on the planet. If we're a Sixers pod first and a Kelly Oubre stan podcast second.
He's great. And
depending on the day, you could flip-flop him. The Rights Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by BodyBio. If you get, I don't know that whatever supplement you take, that BodyBio makes a version of it. There might be something that you take that you don't. But if you do take a supplement, I want you to go to bodybio.com and make sure that they don't make something like it. So BodyBio is a supplement company that we love, who cares about you, cares about your body. Ricky guy in BodyBio, Mike from BodyBio, local company, all that. And the reason I say that you should switch to, if you have an electrolyte supplement, I know there's a lot of them out there, but Elite, BodyBio has. Maybe you take sodium butyrate, maybe you take a fish oil supplement, all that. BodyBio, because they are smaller, because they are nimble, and because they care so much about the quality of the product, they test every single batch of every single product to make sure that it is up to their standards. It's not sitting on the shelves at a grocery store. It's not sitting on the shelves at a pharmacy. And that makes a big, big difference. Like I mentioned, Elite is something that changed my life, got rid of cramps in my legs. It's just pure electrolytes that you put a little drop in your water, or whatever you drink in the morning, whatever you drink in the evening. I used to get cramps in the middle of the night. When I was driving, I would get them in my feet, I would get them in my calves, that sort of stuff. It just went away. Sodium butyrate, if you're going to take one gut supplement, butyrate is the one. Again, BodyBio. If you go to bodybio.com and use the code August, you're going to get 20% off everything. I'm going to let you know the code is not in the pod description. It's nowhere on the website. So write it down if you want it. That is promo code August. And Remineralize is a product that is very specific to BodyBio. Minerals you should be able to get from your food, from your water. We've overfarmed our fields and our land, so the minerals don't come from the food as much as you would like. And we filter our water, so it gets rid of the bad stuff, but it also gets rid of the minerals. They went to these dried salt beds in Utah, and they process it just a little bit. And just like Elite, you just put a couple drops in what you're drinking, and your body gets the minerals it needs to make sure that your cells are strong to let the good stuff in and keep the bad stuff out. Again, go to bodybio.com. You can read all about the products and use code August for 20% off. That is BodyBio, 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 BodyBio. We had, before, instead of talking about, well, we can talk about Grimes specifically. We got an email about Grimes that I thought was interesting, wondered your perspective on it. This is from Dennis in Tokyo. What's up, guys? Dennis in Tokyo here. This is before the Bulls game. Quentin Grimes question. He looks really good, in my opinion. If things stay this way, do you think he was closer on the contract details dispute in the offseason? I think he will get what he wants if he keeps this pace up. Still very early, but I think he looks legit. Do you think he's outperforming the $8.7 million he's getting? I do. What do you think about his performance overall relative to like the salaries that were being discussed with him?
I mean, he's definitely outperforming 8.7.
Yes.
That's not surprising whatsoever. I don't think that they were close. We would have heard something, and then the whole time it was like not close, not close, not close, and then he takes the qualifying offer.
I think he's much closer to what we always talked about. Like he looks like a $14-15 million player to me. He's an imperfect player. He's a useful imperfect player.
I could see it's always hard with contracts because you get stuck in like what contracts were like 6 years ago.
Yes. And
what numbers were then. And you're like, oh, he's this kind of player. Like that's what the mid-level is. And then you look at it and you're like, whoa, it's way more. Like that's a lot. And so I do think that Grimes is somewhere in the like $12 to $18 million range.
Depending on the team and how much they need a player like him.
And who's what's cap space is available, all that stuff. If you were starting from like clear everybody's cap sheets and what does somebody give Grimes? I mean, I think he's like a 6th or 7th man on a very, very solid team, and that to me could go up or down. He's closing games for them, and he's not starting, but he's I think probably 3rd or 4th in minutes. He's doing great. He's doing great. Didn't have a great game tonight offensively. He was 0 for 5 from 3. I really like that play that Nurse drew up to get a great look for Grimes to win it.
Dude, I thought it was going in.
I know.
Thought
I
it
wish
was going in.
he was surprised. I think he was surprised he was that open. I would have liked him to like step into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's a great play. Maxey has a decoy, 75 feet from the basket. Embiid sets a nice pin down screen, and Grimes is wide open, and a pass from Oubre. Could have gotten Oubre the assist, which I would have left. But it just didn't fall. And he was great against Brooklyn too. 13 assists, a ridiculous plus 32. Had a pick 6 tonight, got in the weight room for a big block on Pat Williams, climbed the ladder. There's so much, I say this all the time because I really admire Kelvin Sampson, but as a coach, so much swarming Houston Cougars energy to his defense. So much. College basketball started this week, by the way, so I'm very excited. Bona also has some of that like in your face, in your mouth defense. Mick Cronin coaches a similar motherfucker defense at UCLA. And some really nice drives off closeouts, tough finishes that Grimes has had tonight. It was really nice to see. I wish he got that 3. He hits the big 3 in Charlotte to win it. I thought tonight was going to happen as well. He just got to turn the ball over less. That's sort of what I'm on.
It's driving me crazy, actually.
There's just a few too many, he's moving a little too fast and the ball is a little slower than his body. And it seems like he's like, oh, that got deflected. That came off his leg, that kind of thing. He's just got to just a few too many turnovers for my liking right now.
You describing him as listening to a podcast at 1.25 speed is completely
1.5.
accurate. 1.5. Yeah, and not only
I would love him to get to 1.25. 1.25 is the sweet spot. That's ideal.
Not only
I should listen to 1.25, but I'm trying to accomplish too much.
Right, you're a grinder. That's the way we've always described you. Yeah, your grind culture is the hashtag grind culture. Tape. Yep. He's not only moving too fast for himself, he's moving too fast for everybody else too. I think sometimes too. But
yeah.
But hey, look. They're 5-2.
Yep.
It sucks that they were tired at the end of this game and they have to fucking play on Wednesday night. That part sucks. A little bit sucks. But Cleveland.
I imagine in my mind, and I think in their mind, McCain was not going to play tomorrow.
Oh, really?
I kind of think that he's going to play.
Yeah,
I kind of think after 0,
it's not his knees or anything. He can.
No, for sure. But I think you probably would rather him if they had won this game. I bet they. And he felt pretty good about himself. I would imagine they'd give him just a rest day, and they might still. But I kind of think he's a sick fuck, and he's going to be like, I can't. Don't make me think about this game for any longer than I have to. Let me wash it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But we didn't talk about VJ yet. Kind of role playery game for VJ. Although
the most quiet game from him, I think. He tried. Man, that alley oop was almost pretty sick. He wants to dunk on somebody so bad because and that alley oop was almost really sick because Maxey it just wasn't a good pass, but he did it almost anyway. He's this close to fucking ending somebody, man. He's this close.
I loved that alley oop.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm always down to try that shit. There's nothing more demoralizing for the defense than an alley-oop. And the Sixers were the single most dunked on team in the NBA in the last few years by my metrics, which are all feelings-based metrics. And I feel confident that they were dunked on all the time. And they didn't have any of those lob guys. And now we have a couple lob guys, and I love it. So keep trying it, and it's gonna work. Had great defense on a giddy drive late. He's shown some real. There was a play he didn't get a foul call on, and it was a really nice sort of patient drive. I think this is what I'm talking about, and where he trapped his defender behind him and finished with a nice little scoop. I think he thought he earned the foul there. They didn't give it to him, and then he was a little bit playing fuck you basketball, where I think he got a strip, was involved in a loose ball, and then dove on the loose ball to start a fast break. I think that was the dunk that Kelly had with the lefty.
Oh, that one was awesome. Yes,
really
it
nice
was.
play.
It was that one. It was that one. Yeah.
And he slid with Giddey late and forced a tough shot. He's like a mature player, man. He's a really, really mature player. Had another really nice decel 1-2 into Vucevic's body, and then rose up for a little floater off the glass. That was off a screen from Joel when Vucevic went to drop. That was nice. And he doesn't get sped up from 3. He just doesn't.
No. He won't take it if he doesn't have time to get it up there. Yep.
He was
a lot of arc on those threes too.
Plenty of arc. He was 2 of 3 from deep tonight. They're letting him take it because they're so terrified about the drive and how quickly he can blow past them. So he's got the time to do it. And he had finished with 11 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds for VJ at 6'4" or whatever. 12 and 11, 4 assists, 2 steals. Like he's great. He's great. I'm just happy. I'm so happy he's here. He's playing incredible basketball, and I love that he can ramp up or tamp down his game a little bit as far as what he's doing on ball. I think he's such a team player that it will be up to Nurse in those moments to go like, we got to run something for VJ, even in some like dribble handoff, get him on the move, make him like
they'll get
draw
there.
A foul, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they'll get there.
And a nice Jabari Walker game. He's good.
Dude, that post up from the 3-point line where he dribbled the ball like 600 times. And
that was great. That was great. He tried the DHO. The defense blew it up. And Jabari was just like, all right, I'll bang into Pat Williams a dozen times to get to the rim and one. That's a lot of composure. It's a lot of competence from a two-way guy.
Yeah.
He took a charge on Buzelis. And he's just doing a ton of work on the glass. He only finished with 3. It felt like more. He's making the defense work for it. And if anything, that at least slows down their transition game. And this kind of guy, if he could shoot, is exactly what you're looking for in this version of Joel. Just like role player mindset, rebound fucking everything, be strong and physical. He's good. I do think, obviously, Dominic Barlow is you called it right away. The mysterious illness.
Did you see the quote from Nick Nurse about that he thinks he was wearing a brace and he doesn't think it's too serious? A brace for a cut?
A laceration.
A laceration, dude.
They immediately called it a laceration. I was like, you don't see many laceration in an injury report.
We'll see you in February, Dominic Barlow.
Jesus Christ, man. And he's going to look totally different. I hope he comes back soon, man. He was such a blessing, and then it's gone. But Jabari's doing great. I do think both of those guys some way will be on standard contracts by the end of the year.
I think so. They've both proven it. Absolutely.
And noticeable, they only went 9 deep tonight. No Justin Edwards, no Andre Drummond, no anybody else.
Chennai Brooms at the G League.
Yeah.
They sent him to the Blue Coats.
He was there tonight. But
was he? Oh, so he's doing the back and forth thing. Okay, so
probably.
he gets minutes. All right.
But I don't mind it. I don't think Justin Edwards has been good enough to earn minutes. Maybe there will be a time in the season when he's in the rotation and playing a vital role, but he just hasn't been as good. And once Paul George is there, this is your 10. This is your 10 right now. And then we'll see if I think they'll probably rotate in Barlow Walker with a backup center situation when Embiid's there versus when he's not. So they're a good team. They got a lot of good players. They should have won this game. They've been shooting hot as shit from 3. It was nice. I honestly feel like a little bit relieved that they got outshot from 3 in this one. Because they've just been so smoking hot, and I've just been like worried about it. I wish it didn't happen all at once. Would have been nice.
But it always does. It always does. If it all comes at once, it's all probably going to go away at once too. So, hey, who knows? Tomorrow feels like the first game of the year where they get their asses just fucking handed to them. But who knows?
I was happy that they beat Brooklyn by so much. That felt like a mature, adult thing to do.
Yeah, but like Cleveland on the second night of a back-to-back, and Embiid's not going to play, and Maxey already looked tired, and it feels like it. But who knows? Maybe they're motherfuckers, right? Maybe they're motherfuckers, and they show up and they give it a go.
The NBA schedule makers have a hard time. It's a hard job. I get it, but there's just no reason why. I think there should never be road back-to-backs. I think there should never be road back-to-backs. I think if you play back-to-back, you should play back-to-back at home. But if you have to play a road back-to-back, the other team should also be on a back-to-back. So the fact that the Sixers are on the road on a second night of a back-to-back and Cleveland is just sitting there.
It is
hasn't
pretty
played
hard
since Saturday.
Arena schedules
since Friday.
And all that shit. It's whatever.
I don't like it.
Well, it is what it is.
People have been talking about, do you like the heave rule?
You know what? It's just fucking stupid. I liked that. First of all, I liked Embiid blocking the heave.
I loved it.
Loved him blocking the heave.
Loved it.
It's fine, but grow up. You should heave it anyway. I don't understand. You
understand.
It's catering to this loser shit. Throw the ball up there. You're not going to not get a contract because you fucking
But it does
missed a heave three.
People will say like, "Oh, you shot 37.2% from three," instead of like if you're heaving all the time, then it's like 38.5.
Who's heaving all the time?
I mean, there's some guys that were, but that's why they're not.
Okay.
Here's what I think.
Yeah. Then it shouldn't count as a made three either.
Here's what I
it should
think.
count as 3 points. It shouldn't count as a made three.
I don't care. No, I think it should count. If you make a heave, it should count.
No.
Here's what I think.
Team three.
I do not care. I care more about the game, and the game is more fun when players are firing up last-second shots. I don't care how it is statistically logged. That just doesn't matter to me. I understand people being like, "Oh, you should just like grow up and not care about your percentages and shoot it anyway because it could be good for the team." Sure, that's fine. But there was a rule that made the viewing experience better, and I am in support of that rule.
Well, I don't care about the rule. I just think that if it's not going to count as a miss, it shouldn't count as a make either. It should be a team three, like a team turnover. If you make it, they get 3 points, whatever. If you miss it, doesn't count. Team miss. That way it's miss as the team and not as individually. So we have an accounting of every shot, and it should be a team three. If you make it, you don't get.
No, I disagree. I think if you make it, you count it.
I thought you didn't care.
Well, I want to give credit to the makes. It should be a no-lose situation.
Oh, well, then everybody's going to want to shoot the heaves. People are going to fight over the heaves.
Absolutely. They should. I think it's a little bit like you see the defense jump off sides, and you're just like, I'm chucking this downfield. Nothing bad can happen. I think it's a little bit like that.
Okay. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by Briggs Auction. I was looking through the Briggs Auction schedule. Download the app in the App Store or Google Play. Briggs Auction in Delco. So if you win something and you live in the area, you can just go pick it up on Saturdays, open pickup, or you can appointment, or they can just send it to you, whatever. But I was pretty psyched when I saw their auctions every single week through the end of the year at Briggs Auction. Well, what are they auctioning off? What aren't they auctioning off? What aren't they auctioning off? Art, furniture, clothes, like vintage clothes, collectibles. There's always vinyl in like every other auction. There's like all these lots of like, hey, here's 40 vinyl records or whatever. The best thing I can say about Briggs Auction as far as what's there, it is a bunch of stuff you didn't know you needed until you saw it there. I have been on a search for a certain kind of watch. I check in every week, the Briggs Auction app. I actually go to the web. I'm not an app guy. I go to the web just to see if the watch is there. But I saw a couple of people when I went to pick something up at Briggs Auction that had, I guess, were furnishing their basements, and they looked for furniture at Briggs Auction. CJ loves little lamps and shit like that. Like I said, you go in there, you can sort by category: collectibles, art, electronics, sporting goods, all that sort of stuff. And there's a new auction every week. Most of the sales, like there's 500 to 1,000 lots, a lot of them starting at $1. Check in once a week. Most of them close on Fridays. Again, briggsauction.com or the App Store in Google Play, or the App Store or Google Play is where you get the app. If you win something, as I mentioned, Saturday is open pickup or by appointment during the week. If you want to get rid of a bunch of shit, if you have stuff that's valuable, you want to auction it off, send an email to info@briggsauction.com. I love Briggs Auction, briggsauction.com. We have told the story of now we switch to our second most important topic on the podcast, which is the Carolina Panthers and their podcast. So you may remember the podcast Mike Meow Mix.
Of course.
And Meow Mix retired the podcast.
They retired it.
Yes, they said
like Tom Brady retiring.
Yes.
We believed it.
And like not only did they retire it, they didn't like be like, this sucks, we're out. They wrote this long, woe is me, bullshit crybaby thing about spending time with their families.
How many listeners do they have? Are they like, we have no sense of it. Do they have like 18 listeners?
I have no idea.
Are we just like punching the shit out of them when they're dead?
Well, no, it was a pretty big, it became like an internet story. So I bet they have more.
No.
Yeah, maybe they have 18.
This isn't like a one-way feud like us and Tommy.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a one-way feud. But that's all. That's fine. Somebody needs to feud with them. Somebody needs to call them out. So they do this whiny fucking Apple Notes bullshit where they're like, oh, we've too much time and effort and missing our families, and we'll love the team forever, but we just can't do this anymore. And then what happens? The fucking Panthers rip off 4 out of 5. And they won again. And here is a tweet, 4:06 p.m., November 2nd. This is after they beat the Packers. We'll be back this week. 7 exclamation points. Oh, bullshit. So not only do I think it's bullshit, former Carolina Panther great Jonathan Stewart, who I believe is either a broadcaster or maybe he's a podcaster now. Jonathan Stewart tweets, woke up with this heavy on my heart, Meow Mix podcast. Please stay where y'all at. Be a team player. So Jonathan Stewart says no.
Jonathan Stewart telling me to stay on my honeymoon.
Yes. And then Ike Ekwonu, who is a current Carolina Panther, on is responding to one of those aggregator Instagram accounts. He also says, go ahead and stay where y'all at after they announce they're coming back.
Amazing.
So Mike, I ask you this. So first of all, fucking Meow Mix, you got to stay out. Mm-hmm. If we were Meow Mix, and I know we would never quit. If we haven't quit during all of the opportunities we've had to quit, but if we had to quit, and then if we were like, this is bullshit, fuck it, and then the Sixers got to the finals, and we were like, we're back, and a former player and a current player were like, do not. What would you do?
You just can't do it. Well, the quitting the podcast was insane the way they did it.
Yes.
Wasn't it week 4 or something like that?
Yes.
That was crazy. You can't come back during the same season.
No.
That's wild. One day we will not do this podcast.
Yes.
Perhaps because of our death. One or both.
Yeah. That'd be some shit if we both died at the same time.
Same time. Wow. Hand in hand. Thelma and Louise across the country.
Yeah.
But it won't. If we were like, guys, it's over. Can't do it anymore. They fucking suck.
Yeah.
There's nobody there that matters to us anymore or whatever. Then 6 years later, they go to the finals. Yeah,
yes.
We'll come back.
Yeah,
if alive.
Later. Yes.
If alive, we
I
come
call
back.
you. I'm like, hey, did we do
Run
this?
it back. Let's fucking get it again.
I call CJ.
CJ's the president of the United States.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm in,
and he's gonna be like not on the pod, still like producing and just doing Briggs Auction stuff.
Yeah.
But no, they've handled it all wrong.
Yep.
Cartoonishly wrong, and I love that they are getting called out.
Yes.
By their own team.
Stay on that side.
Yeah.
Stay on that side. Yeah.
Friggin' Janai Broom being like, no thanks. No thanks, you guys. You didn't like the draft pick of me.
Yeah.
So you can stay home.
Yep. Stay on that side. A couple of emails before we get out of here. Writes RickySanchez@gmail.com. And we do have a relationship advice. Mike, I'm sorry. Some of them are they're goofing around. This one seemed kind of serious, so I wanted to do it. But before we get to the serious relationship advice, this is an email from Jared. Much has been made about Maxey and Edgecombe and what we're going to call them. I did have somebody ask me on Reddit why I say Edgecombe. That is in the phonetic, like in how you pronounce his name, that's what it says in the media guide. It doesn't say Edgecombe. It says Edgecombe. So anyway, much has been made about Maxey and Edgecombe and what we're going to call them. Kate Scott has been calling them VJ Max, but Zach Lowe doesn't like that. I think it's fairly obvious that Maxey needs to be called the can opener. He opens up defenses like a can of beans. Edgecombe should be called the razor or the comb. The can opener and the comb sounds like two corny radio DJs or a crappy sitcom about two unlikely roommates. In any case, this needs to get sorted out. Love the pod, go Sixers. I think the can opener and the comb is probably the best backcourt nickname I've ever heard in my entire life.
Can opener's funny.
Yeah.
Sadly, probably won't stick.
No. You don't think the can opener and the comb is going to stick?
I think VJ Max is very bad. It has to work on multiple levels.
Yeah.
And on the one level, it works because their names are VJ and Tyrese Maxey. On the level of like, it sounds like TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
what does that mean? What is that indicating to us on that level?
That we
Otherwise,
can
it's
get
just a
bargain
thing that
clothes
sounds
from
like another thing,
Yeah.
and that doesn't work.
Right.
Which makes it not a worthy nickname. Like, scrambling names together is fun. Colin Sexton and Darius Garland being Sexland was
funny.
great.
Yeah.
My nickname take in general is that I think we are in a post nickname world.
Yeah.
I think that they're just any nickname now is too like aware of itself and like trying too hard. And we used to live in a time when there were great nicknames.
Mm-hmm. And now there's not.
And I think maybe the last time of that was like the 90s. And now there's just not. There's just not good nicknames. And I think everything would seem kind of fake. Maybe one will like slip through and be a miracle from time to time. And I'm sure there are some that are good that I'm not thinking
Like the
about.
process.
Yeah, the process is a good one. But even that only works on one. I mean, it works on several levels, but it doesn't sound great, No,
No,
it
you're
doesn't
right,
sound great
yeah.
as a nickname.
Yeah.
And it's more of a, it's good. It is good. It's fine. There's certainly some that are good that I'm not thinking about, but I think like in general, most nicknames are like really, really trying too hard, and are just sort of too like a copy of a copy of a copy of what used to be cool when nicknames were good, like decades ago.
I was talking with Ike about this on the air one day. I don't know if it's exclusive to Philadelphia, but every time we get a player we like new, it seems like within 48 hours, everybody's like, what's their nickname?
It's not.
We don't need to.
We don't need to.
They did it with Saquon.
His name is
last year.
Valdez.
What's
His
that?
name is Valdez Edgecombe Jr. That's plenty. We don't need any more. That's a sick ass name. If his name was like
also
Dave Jones, then that would be a different. We'd like find one.
Here's the thing: VJ is a nickname. It's a nickname. It's not his whole name. His name's not VJ. VJ is his nickname.
We just even like a group of people in the nickname. Remember the Feds era?
Oh yeah, I remember the Feds era.
Who did the Feds? Who were named in the Feds?
So one of them was Khalif Wyatt. One of them.
No. You're thinking of Team WAP.
I'm thinking of Team WAP.
Feds is just
okay.
Just the last initials.
Right. So Simmons.
Yeah.
Fultz.
Yep. The E is the obvious one, Spike.
Oh, Embiid.
Yeah.
Who was the D in Feds?
Come on. It's Dario.
Oh, there you go. Right.
It's just like
a
little too early of a nickname, and it's like what a bad nickname.
What happens when you trade them? Yeah, and then are you just Fez?
If we're just Fez. Fez would be funnier.
Yep.
No, I think we're past nicknames, but not for me.
We have
or something will come up naturally, and we'll be like, there it is.
Yes, that's the nickname.
But
everybody will call him that. It's funny.
Can't be a try too hard.
And we're not hockey where you just put a Y on the end of everybody's name.
I like that in hockey, though. I don't like hockey. I could name so few current hockey players. It'll blow you away how few I could name. But I do like the culture of hockey. Just adding a last name to anyone.
Yeah,
Boltsy, Beadsy.
Yes, but it's not what we are.
Simo the Savage.
We do have an email that I think requires this.
I play like this. I don't play like that. When I play, I'm pretty intense.
Mike playing basketball.
I'm in my prime. Honestly,
Sign me.
This comes from Lou. I'm an old school pickup basketball player. Am I the only one who prefers a good old-fashioned opaque painted wood or metal backboard on an outdoor court? The glare and transparency of plexiglass board is not only distracting to my intricately measured bank shots, but just seems out of place, like wearing indoor bedroom slippers to a concert. Do you have a preference on the outdoor backboards and the plexiglass versus the metal/wood outdoor backboards?
Most outdoor backboards are so hard, where if you touch it, that ball's flying off it, and then the rims, you're usually a double rim situation.
I don't like the clear backboards in outside. That the park near me has them, and like when you're looking at it, I feel like your what's it called?
Depth perception.
Depth perception is all fucked up by it.
I understand that. I associate outdoor courts more like just with bad rims no matter what, so it's kind of an always something situation. But I guess if I were to make my perfect court outside, it would probably be just a white backboard.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I did not. We won last night. Just the update. You already played this. You already played it. We're already in that. We're in the mix.
Okay.
Can't play it again.
All right.
I am missing the coaching situation right now for this podcast. There you go.
Basketball.
I'm not coaching it. I'm doing the podcast instead. So I don't even know if they won.
Coach Mike. When she does this, do that. 1-2-1. Coach my ass off.
We only had 5 guys last night. We won by 20.
Whoa.
I didn't shoot very well,
Yeah.
but I got to the rim, sort of like my old self before I became a very good shooter. So dialing it back, Spike. Still, I'm 36 now.
Yeah.
Still doing it. Still in my
Yep.
prime. Sign me.
Well, prime.
Offensive prime.
Okay.
Defensive,
All right.
not
you
prime.
think the game so well now.
I do
would
think the
imagine.
game. I
Yeah.
mind the game.
You mind the game. Before we get out of here, we got a relationship advice email.
Playing all the music.
Look, man, all the hits. We did get a copyright strike for that Keith Pompey video we played from his TikTok. It was worth,
Keith.
just so you know.
Listen, copywriters.
Yes.
It's Keith.
It's-
We got to
it's
do
not
it.
us.
What do you expect us to do?
I spent a lot of time on his TikTok yesterday. There's a lot of videos like that on his TikTok that are just live pictures turned into videos of just him moving like a quarter second. In any case, the relationship advice theme is by the Ricky's own Eliza Hardy Jones. You may recognize her from smaller places like the War on Drugs. This comes from Anonymous. He didn't say to keep him anonymous, but I'm deciding to keep him anonymous. I met my current girlfriend in mid-September 2023, and we went on our first date 3 days later. It was amazing, but immediately afterwards, she went across the country on medical school away rotations for the next 2 months. We did remain in frequent communication during this time. In early October, I went with a large group of friends to a college football game where we all stayed in an Airbnb together. On the last night, I very regrettably ended up having sex with my ex-girlfriend. I felt a little gross, but I did not feel the need to tell my now girlfriend, as we had only been on a single date at that time. She eventually came back and we picked back up and naturally fell very in love. About a year ago, she found out about the ex-girlfriend hookup, not from me. It was very, very hard, but we seemingly did move past it, and our relationship has really flourished in all other facets, particularly in the last 6 months. However, it has been clear that she has never truly forgiven me for this, and recently she has declared that she can't stand the thought of her husband having been with another girl after meeting her. This encounter has also festered in her head, causing her not to trust me, and worst of all, it has created self-esteem issues for her. She maintains that she's very in love with me, but she feels she needs to release herself from this. It's a very helpless feeling for me. I'm incredibly sorry, but I can never undo this. While it's true I went on one date with my girlfriend prior to the hookup, everything we've built together as a couple afterwards, it does feel very punitive. Is this salvageable? Can I fight to save this, or do I need to let her go?
Tough, man. This is a tough situation for everybody involved.
It is tough. We don't know how old they are, which I think is some material. But if she's going to medical school, maybe they're mid-20s.
That sounds about right.
Early mid-20s, yep.
Yeah, that sounds totally about right. I think part of it is the dating for a year, finding out about it, not
Afterwards.
from you.
Yes.
That's tricky. That's a
Yes.
tricky situation.
And I don't blame you for it. I actually don't blame you for it.
No, it's I think defensible all involved.
Yeah.
Going on one date with somebody and not being the like we're exclusive right away conversation. That's a different type of deal. Especially when you're like, group of friends, see an ex, whatever. It's hard. And I certainly relate to the feeling of being like, I really just would like for you to forgive me because I understand that this is difficult, but I don't really think I did anything wrong. I think you probably would have. It's one of those things where you're just like, you probably hope that she'd never find out about it.
Yes.
Like, because it's like, hey, we had just started dating. We hadn't had the exclusive conversation yet, but as you start dating more deeper into it, it probably should have been the thing where you cut your losses and have that conversation. Be like, hey, I just want you to know, like maybe I want you to hear it from me in case sometime, whatever. That's hard to be the one to have that conversation, but it's, when you feel this kind of like guilt for something that's not guilty, but the crime is really the like not saying it, not being upfront about it later on at all.
Yeah.
It is a really tricky, delicate situation. I'd say you can't like make it go away. You can sort of just be open to the idea that it might
Fade.
I think it just takes time for, I don't know how long it's been, right? Did you say how long it's been? Past 6 months. I think 6 months is.
He said it's gotten even better in the past 6 months. He'd say in the year the relationship has blossomed. So I get the sense they've been together for over a year.
Yeah. Difficult, I would say. Let her have her feelings and be able to listen and not escalate it into a further fight. But it seems like this is the kind of thing where if the relationship is really good otherwise, then it will eventually pass. That would be my guess.
And the tough part is if you truly apologize for doing it, you're apologizing for something that you don't think was wrong, in which case you're sort of like indicting yourself for something. Like it almost reaffirms what she is thinking, that you did something wrong. Like, so you could, I think you can be upset that you didn't tell her. You can apologize for that. Mm-hmm. But I think you have to be very careful in like, you didn't cheat on her like that. Mm-hmm. I think that's fair to say, but you have to be very careful in apologizing for it and saying, and like adding that loaded thing that you did something wrong that you maybe didn't do. I'm not saying that you don't want to apologize for things. I hope that's clear. Like I think you should try to like wait it out. And I think if you think the relationship is great, you should give her the space to be upset. And if she tells you, I can't do this anymore, let her have a week and see if she, like, you don't want to be living with this for the rest of your life, but my guess is that you won't be. And like, she was probably with other people too. Maybe not after you met her, but like maybe close to around then too. So I would just give it time. I think the other complicated thing here is that you guys are pretty young. And I think the older you get, the more you can sort of like compartmentalize these things. And I don't know if it makes it easier, but you certainly spend less time obsessing over the fact that you're not the first person that the person that you're with has ever met in their entire lives. So I wish that you guys were a little older, but I would, if you think the relationship is great, I would just keep trying without trying to suffocate her on it,
And let her have sex with her ex.
Yes. Just once.
Just say, whatever.
One time.
Pick an ex. Maybe you have a draft.
Yes.
An ex draft of like, okay, not this one or this one, but this one or this one.
Maybe you chaperone her. Maybe you drive her to the dinner.
We're not pitching cuck, but if you simply just give her a ride to the dinner.
Yes, I'm not saying you should watch. I'm saying you should make sure she gets there safely.
Just have a nice drive. And then she probably and then an Uber home. And that's fair.
You pay for the Uber.
Yeah, on your account. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'll pass. I feel for both. I feel for everybody.
Yeah.
Not everything's black and white, you guys.
If you want to have her on the pod, if you guys want to come on the pod, talk it out. Keep trying, man. Keep trying. You only live once, and if she's the one, you're gonna end up kicking yourself your whole life if you let her go. So, all right, we will talk to you this weekend. We got the Cavs. Here's the part where I don't know the rest of the Sixers schedule. Oh, and then the Celtics, right?
Cavs tomorrow night, Raptors Saturday, Pistons Sunday.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We will talk to you
Sunday. Right?
Back-to-back pods where there's a game in the next day.
In between, yeah.
I bet Paul George plays in one of these games this weekend, Spike.
I wouldn't keep betting. I wouldn't keep betting. That wouldn't be my plan.
I'm saying it.
Okay. We will hold on.
Sports are good. We're in the pocket.
Yeah.
A great fucking World Series, incredible game. Incredible Game 7, incredible series. Crazy shit. I was honestly like pretty relieved this whole playoffs that the Phillies were not in it. It just obviously I want the Phillies to make the run, but like the level of like commitment and stress and mental anguish that a baseball playoffs has on you. Like,
and then you just fucking lose anyway. What if
Yeah.
you're the Blue Jays? You go and
Yeah.
you do all that, you know?
no, you're making Daryl's argument. You're doing Daryl's argument for him. I would love to have been the Blue Jays, but maybe not this year. I don't think I could have handled. I don't think I could have taken it all on.
Rogerico in the chat is saying that the quid pro quo advice is bad. We actually think it's good, allowing her to have sleep with her ex and driving her there. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you're saying it's okay and you're making sure she gets there safely.
Give her a ride. You don't have to know where you're taking.
Yes.
Just drop her off. You let her sit in the back.
Yeah.
Be a nice guy for once.
Maybe you're dropping her at the mall. It could be anywhere on the mall. You don't know where it is.
The mall. Not where I'd pick. Just not where I'd pick.
We will talk to you this weekend. Are you down with TTP?
Yeah, like